Driven Daily. Today we're getting back to the Miata in preparation for the 2019 season. I want to add some more safety gear in, and today I've bent up these two roof bars already, and I'm going to try to make a V with them in the roof. So it's going to be something like that up over my head. These two are going to have two more tubes mimicked behind them, turning essentially the windshield bar to the very back of the cage into a big X, making it as strong as possible. I want to absorb as much impact as I can if I ever have an off. So these will give me a lot of strength in multiple directions, and they shouldn't be too difficult to weld in. Let's get to the actual fabrication. Now that I've already mostly cooked them up, I've got a little bit more fine tuning to do, and then some welding. This ground strap is not big enough to get a good ground on 1.5 inch tubing, so you can kind of cheat that by mounting any kind of metal clamp on there. As long as it's a metal to metal contact and you have good continuity, you can just clamp to the clamp. For now, I'm just tack welding it in. I don't really want to keep that exactly where it is until I've got the second tube kind of mocked up and I can measure side to side where I want to have both and make sure that they're actually even and actually centered. With the tack welds, I want to make sure that they're easy to grind off as well. You can notice that the first one I did was on the top here, which is really easy to get to with the grinder. And the second one's on the bottom, which has a lot of face area, so I can get to it much more easily than if I had welded on the top, under the windshield, or inside of one of these tight angles. That would be a lot harder to fit a grinder or even a file into. So this is easy to undo at this point until I weld it all the way around. And I'm gonna fit up that second tube now. All right, a little bit more hand fit up, and I think that tube looks great. Fits pretty well across all planes. It stays pretty vertical when it's set up, as opposed to being leaned this way or this way, which is gonna change the way that it's strong. Essentially, you wanna make sure that it's the best in a rollover and make sure that all of your forces are heading in the same direction toward the same nodes. So I think this guy's ready to weld in. I'm just gonna clean the inside of the tube so that I don't have dust and metal particles rattling around every time I race. It's just kind of a nice finish quality kind of feeling. I'll clean up some of these Sharpie marks just so that those don't contaminate any of the welds. Tack weld it all, give it one more measurement across all of the dimensions and make sure that it's square side to side, and then I can finish welding the whole thing. Okay, those dimensions all look good to me. I think this thing is ready for some finish welding. I'm just gonna go run a bead around the entire tube, both ends of each tube, and then all that's really left is to paint them. I'll say that those welds came out pretty darn well. I'm using a little Hobart 140, which is just a 110 outlet welder, which is the lowest power welder you can get. And it does great on, 0.95 wall tubing. So I wouldn't use it to build a large frame truck, but for little stuff like this, for lightweight roll cages, it's perfect. It's absolutely ideal. The duty cycle's a little bit low, so you're not gonna be able to weld all day with it. You won't be able to do really long stints, but if all you're doing is building a car or 3, it'll get the job done beautifully. You'll be really impressed. So for around 500 bucks, you'll get the welder, another 100, maybe 200, and you can get a bottle of gas. And then you have some consumables to take care of, which is another 50 bucks or so. And after that, you are completely ready to start screwing up some metal. Get in as much practice as you can, and then even for something like this, I would recommend getting some test material, welding that test material however you think you'll be welding it, and then crushing it in a hydraulic press or trying to bend it in a vise, or seeing if you can get the welds to fail and how you might be able to get them to fail. So I guess that's it for this episode. It's nice to finally be tearing into some projects. I'll have a couple more safety upgrades coming up for this, and then we can move on to whatever project you guys are interested in. As always, thanks for watching. Bye guys.